I think that, and like, you know, I'm not a scientist, so don't quote me, you know, because I know how you girls like to tussle. Hey guys, so I just want to do like a quick check-in, quick chit chat. I know we've been doing a lot of dating series, but like I wanted to like just really like connect it to an update for me. Dating is weird. It's weird on that surface level of like having to find, you know, another, like going through yet another talking stage, going through yet another, like, are you attractive, are you not attractive, like, what am I looking for, what's your favorite color, good morning, like, who cares about those, like, I don't, it's annoying enough to have to go through those things. But getting to like the deeper part of it for me is what I didn't realize was going to be an issue for me, or I didn't realize how much of an issue it was going to be for me, is overthinking when you do meet somebody new. So quick update, I definitely met someone on Hinge accidentally, and oh, he is fine. He is fine. So we're going on a date on Sunday. But like obviously in the meantime, between time, like we've been talking a lot, and I just feel like every other sentence he says, I'm like over analyzing it, because I don't want to get caught off guard by anything. I'm measuring it up against like my old relationship and things that I should have caught then and I didn't catch. Like I just feel like I'm overly sensitive to what may be a red flag, and I don't know if that is necessarily helpful, because now I feel like my red flag radar or whatever is broken, or it's like it's off. Everything seems like a red flag to me right now. Like I'm just like he said, I don't know, he said something about consistency, or like what, like I'm like whatever, like he kind of bigs himself up a little bit. To me it's bigging himself up, but to him I think he's just telling me about himself, and to me I'm like, oh no, I don't trust any man who like says they do this, this, and this, and this. I just already am like anticipating that he's just running game. But at the same time, I'm like, what is game? Like, I don't even remember what that is. Like, I don't know what game is versus when someone's coming at you genuinely. I don't know. Anyway, I really had to just like get that off my chest. But I am excited. We are going on this date on Sunday, and obviously I'm going to tell you guys how that goes. I'm nervous though. Like I'm so nervous. Real talk, like I haven't been on a date in years. I think 4 years ago was like the last time I went on like a real date, and that was like right before I was already kind of like with my baby daddy at the time, and so you know, when it's all cute in the beginning or whatever. But even then, I felt like we just got into an immediate like comfort zone, and then didn't really date. And then obviously things went like south, and we didn't date. Like maybe on special occasions, he was like a pull up on a special occasion type of person, and like otherwise there was no dating. And then even before him, I did not really go on dates like that. I definitely was that girl that's always like, you know, like, I don't really like dating more than one person. So then you just end up falling in that rut. Like you meet one person, you guys have this spark, and then you got, you know, like you just, oops, we're in a relationship. I definitely am leaving that behind this time. Like, and I've kind of just been making it like really obvious without being too, you know, overtly like gross about it, that you're not the only person I'm speaking to. You know, like he's definitely asked like some of those questions, like what else is going on, and I'm like, oh, things are going on, sweet. And not only are they going on, but they're going to continue to go on until you prove yourself, and they're going to continue to go on until you prove yourself. So I don't know, that's just a big takeaway for me, to not ever again like drop all these contenders just because one person has your interest. Like that person needs to work to keep your interest and prove themselves above everyone else. And there's still other experiences to have. Just because you're like, you know, having fun here doesn't mean you can't have fun with somebody else. Even if you know the person's not gonna go, you know, those other people are not gonna go far, whatever, just experience it. Why have one dinner when you can have two? Like, on a serious note, I think that is something I noticed that I am struggling with. Just learning to trust myself again while I'm in this process. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna have so much trouble. I thought I was definitely going to just like, oh, I know what to do now and I know what not to do now. Instead, everything feels like a over critique of myself. Everything feels like an over critique of the other person. And I kind of now need to find a balance to just like pull it back some, or at least not panic so much about it, right? Like just kind of let it flow. And I've never been a let it flow person, so this is definitely a lesson in letting things flow and not blocking off other energies or blocking off other things that maybe, you know, come. So for the life update part, you know, we've gone through a journey together, right? Like, and just when I was just initially fresh, that I've decided like I'm moving here, I want new for myself, like I want to do things differently. This is not the type of love that I want to experience. This is not the type of family that I wanted to give my child, and going through just back and forth of like feeling guilty for choosing myself and the hard decisions that I've had to make in order to get to the point where I am now, which has been, you know, as some of you may or may not know from watching my past vlogs or my earlier Vlogmas, completely just like no contact. So I made that decision. It's been a little over a month. Has it been over a month? It's either at a month or a little bit over a month of just having no contact whatsoever. So it really has just been just me raising Cadence, and that's been fine. I honestly thought, you know, like last times that I've chosen to go no contact because things were just getting way too chaotic. You're having to take care of your child day in, day out, and it gets so difficult that it makes you go back to that person regardless of how like chaotic it was. Somehow, some way you like forget the chaos that they actually added. But just because you want to alleviate yourself of like how hard it is to raise a child by yourself, like it is no small feat. Like sometimes I don't even know how I'm like standing up, but it's like I have no other choice. But this time it hasn't been like that whatsoever. And I think that everything that's happened to me this year has really built me up and led me to being able to do what I'm doing right now. And I feel like I'm at my healthiest emotionally that I have ever been. And especially since meeting this person. Not the new guy, my ex. But yeah, like I think that if I wasn't living in North Carolina, I couldn't do this. And the reason why I say that is because living in North Carolina has given me a certain stability where I don't need anybody else. Not that I don't have help when I need it, right? It's readily available to me, and that's the other thing that's wonderful over here. It's readily available. It is financially affordable. And it's just much more of a community here, even with strangers. Like I just don't feel as isolated as I was both in New York and as I was in Miami before I finally settled down over here. So that's one major thing, you know, like that keeps me going back, or had kept me going back, and keeps other people going back, like not feeling that you can stand on your own too, and not feeling that you can do this by yourself. So then you just kind of attach yourself to what you already know in another body, thinking that's gonna help you or alleviate some of the stress from you. But for me, my experience was that I never alleviated anything. It was just like having dead weight there. It wasn't the type of help that I needed. And honestly, it caused me more frustration than actually helping me. So I'm just really, really grateful for, you know, seeing that progress. Like, I was really going through it. Oh my God. And I just felt like there was just, I just had to like roll my sleeves up and was like, girl, you're about to be saving yourself until you're saved. And I just feel like I just looked up one day and I was like, oh, I'm saved. Like, I'm good. And I want to say it was like right before Thanksgiving. Like, I was like, oh, should I be sad right now? Like, we're about to have Thanksgiving and it's just us two. And like no emotion was coming up except for relief. Like, I felt fine. And Christmas is coming up, and that's another holiday that you would think would like bring something up for me, and like, thank God it's bringing up nothing but like, I'm happy about it. I'm happy where I am. I'm happy for my daughter. I can tell my daughter is emotionally like just safer because I feel emotionally safer. Like, I'm good. And I could not ever imagine this. Like, I just could not imagine a time in my life where like I would be without this person. And it's just so good to know that there is life after emotional abuse. Like, there is life after starting over again. There is life after like having to pick yourself up. Like, it doesn't always feel like you're constantly going to have to pick yourself up. Like, there's life after that. And that's why, you know, I've been so intentional and also talking to you guys about it, like not making your entire healing journey about talking about healing. Like, let's live our life. Like, live that life that you're envisioning. Like, you don't put it in a box, in a glass box, and just keep staring at it and keep talking about it and like, I want to get there and I want to be that. Like, no. Live it. Look at other people the way that they're living certain things that you really like or whatever. Copy that until it becomes part of you. Copy and do the things that make that life that you want to live so bad until it becomes part of your process, until it becomes what you naturally and normally do. And that's what I've been doing, and it has helped me tremendously to live life after. I'm just like really proud of myself. And I want to say that if you're in that part of your journey, like in that down part of your journey, or in that like pulling up your sleeves part and about to save yourself over and over, there is life after it. There really, really is. Get yourself 2 feet on the ground. If that means you need to get away from the person, that means you need to cut off everything around that person in order to protect you, especially if you have a child, do what you gotta do. Because that's the only way you're gonna get to the life after. And I know that shit is hard. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think, you know, I know it better than anyone, like how difficult it is to get away from someone that you thought you were gonna spend the rest of your life with and then some, right? But you know what sucks about that actually? Like, I was just talking about that with one of my girlfriends, of how it feels like no matter what is going on in your life, what good you notice your life is, even, or how much more peaceful your life is even without this person, how sometimes it feels like you'll never fully get rid of that. Is it love or is it obsession? I don't know. You'll never fully get rid of that attachment to that person. And I do feel like that a lot sometimes. And what the sucky part about it is not that I feel like I won't get rid of the attachment. It's that the way I have to remind myself of what, like, the reality of being what that person looks like always feels like I have to re-traumatize myself, right? Like, if I'm like thinking of what was done to me in order for me to be like, no, you don't need that anymore, I do feel like I'm putting myself through a little bit of that humiliation again. I'm having to relive a little bit of like what I just could not handle in order to remind myself this is not where I need to go. And I think at first, like, that's a good, maybe even great tool to use, you know, like tell yourself the truth about what you were going through so that you don't romanticize it on accident and then find yourself back with this person. But like, how much longer do I need to do that? I don't want to do that anymore. I wish that I can find a way to not have to re-traumatize myself in order to remind myself that the attachment is not, like, in order to remind myself the facts of that attachment. And I think that's really why I wanted to start dating again, or like attempting to date again, because one thing about it, like, this may sound really, really silly, but I think that, and like, you know, I'm not a scientist, so don't quote me, you know, because I know how you girls like to tussle. But I really think that it's like scientific. Like, your attachment to someone, toxic or not, I think it has to do with like pheromones in your hormones. And I think that once they like meld or fuse with each other, you are for that person. Like, I can smell, like, I can be so mad. I could be like, I know what you did to me. I can't believe you would do something like this, blah, 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 blah. He could walk through the door right now. And some way, somehow, my brain is like it just completely forgets what was going on. That's, like, I don't know what it is. Like, you just completely forget that this person is not good for you. And I think that when you start to date, or when you start to, you know, catch the scent of someone else, that scent of that attachment lessens until it goes away. Wait a minute, because I don't mean, you know, get under somebody to get over someone else. Like, I don't mean that, because there is a very important time where you need to be by yourself. You need to recalibrate. You need to come back to yourself. You need to enjoy yourself. You need to love yourself, like, and fulfill yourself and put back into yourself. All those things need to happen for sure. But I do think if you're like me and you're struggling with not wanting to literally re-traumatize yourself again in order to not go back to someone, it's time to start getting what you needed to get from that person from someone else. You feel me? I just think that's what it is. And I'm there now. Like, I don't want to cause harm to myself. Enough harm has been caused without my permission. And I think those are the things I'm really paying attention to, and I want to give focus to as I'm dating and as I'm, like, you know, seeing what this person is about a little bit more. Like, I find myself being much more upfront with what my needs are, and I'm not playing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna take half of that. Like, if I say I want someone who is romantic and this person answers in any way that shows that they're less than also wanting to give me romance, we're not moving forward and talking. If I'm saying to you that I like to go out to eat, like, I like doing those things, I like to be taken out on dates, and you answer me, oh yeah, that's cool, like, we could do, you know, here and there. Like, I'm not really like an eat out person. Bye. Like, these are all things I did not pay attention to before, and I thought, oh, I could change his mind, or, oh, like, you know, he probably didn't know any better than, you know, he'll know better with me, so we'll do. No. One thing about it, I'm listening this time. Yeah. What they tell me is what it is, and I'm not about to paint it a different color. I'm not about to put a comma where a period was. No, ma'am. Other than that, that's really been it. I am continuing to swipe on Hinge. I'm definitely, you know, being a little bit more intentional, I'm being a lot more intentional about being honest with what I want, knowing, you know, if someone can meet my needs or not, like, is this a waste of time or not? But I'm also no longer putting all my eggs in one basket. I'm here to have fun with this. Like, I want to continue on and see what happens. I'm, of course, like, super excited for Sunday. Leave in the comments, do you guys want to see a get ready with me for my Sunday date? We could do that. We could do it. I'll do it. I'll do it if you want me to. And then maybe I'll try to sneak a little video of him, because maybe one of y'all know him. And if you do, if you live in Charlotte and you know him, let me know, because men be married and forget to tell you. Oh yeah, I'm excited for that and I'm a little nervous at the same time. No, I'm a lot nervous at the same time because, you know, things could be like hit off really well on text or phone calls or whatever, and then you meet and you're like, but so far the conversation has been really cool. He seems really nice, really sweet, gentleman-like, but again, we shall see. And you know I'm gonna come back and report it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and like listening and tuning in and caring about what goes on in my life and my updates. I really do hope that, you know, anyone who needed to hear this today has heard my message. Like, start living that life that you're putting in that glass box. Get rid of those attachments by getting other attachments. You're never gonna fully probably get rid of how you felt and feel about this person. For some reason, it's even harder when it was a toxic attachment. Who knows the science behind that? But I'm telling you, in a way, get under something else in order to get over this thing over here. All right, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell while you're at it so you know every time I do post a new video. And thank you again. Bye, guys.
And you deserve, and you deserve, and you deserve, and you did it right from the start.